Hi guys, and welcome to the Open Middle East YouTube channel. For those who haven't come across me before, my name is John Simmons, Director of Israel Investment, where we connect non-Israeli citizens, Westerners, with Israeli investment professionals. Thank you for tuning in. We do have a little treat for you today in terms of the Arise conference, the online summit on the 30th of November. That's next Tuesday. So stay tuned to the end where I tell you more about that. The Arise Digital Summit, spearheaded by Kalev Myers, prominent Israeli businessman and lawyer. Kalev also serves as the chairman and is the co-founder of Arise. That's the Alliance to Reinforce Israel's Security and Economy. Yes, I got it right. And they're inviting you to their digital summit on Tuesday, the 30th of November. Here is my interview with Kalev. Stay tuned to the end where you can find out how to join the summit. Welcome, guys. So it's a pleasure to have Kalev Myers with us today. Kalev is the co-founder and chairman of Arise. That's the Alliance to Reinforce Israel's Security and Economy. Kalev, you are a blessing to the nation of Israel. You're a blessing to international businessmen and women like me who really want to get active and behind Israel's economic success to support and be involved as much as possible. There are so many topics I'd like to discuss with you today regarding Israel and what's going on and all of the innovation and, you know, the disruption going on to industries, bringing about huge efficiencies and things like that. But we're here to talk about the Arise Digital Summit coming up on Tuesday, the 30th of November. I'm very excited for that. So I made the wise decision to go on the Arise Digital Summit in 2020. Because the summit was online, I kind of went in with perhaps low expectations. I thought maybe it's another digital Zoom or, you know, perhaps I had digital fatigue. But wow, was I wrong. You had excellent presentations from expert speakers in a wide range of industries. And obviously we know Israel has brought huge improvements to many industries for its tech innovations and various other areas. Venture capital was still pouring into Israel, we know from various economic reports. For me and many of the delegates I spoke to at the events, we gave it a real thumbs up. We were really impressed and glad we allocated the time for it. New business relationships were established and they're still ongoing with my day-to-day and what we do here at Israel Investment. So if you don't mind, Kalev, tell us a little bit about Arise and how it came about.
Yeah, thank you. And it's such a great honor to be here with Israel Investment and your platform. I love what you're doing, John. I especially love what you're doing because it connects to my story. You know, my family came out of Europe. My great-grandfather, Abraham Myers, owned a shop in Darmstadt, Germany, which was when it was actually the first city that was boycotted by the Third Reich in the 1930s. And thank God my family got out in time and they survived, and therefore I exist. But this idea of these voices coming up once again in the international community saying we should boycott Israeli businesses and Jewish businesses, that really bothers me at a deep level. And so, you know, I created Arise as kind of an answer to that. I don't believe, you know, the boycott campaign, BDS, as it's otherwise called, it's an insidious campaign and it's an ideology. It's difficult to fight ideologies, but I think the way that we can really beat the boycott movement is on the positive level by creating good, mutually profitable business connections from people in the international community that recognize the benefit of doing business in Israel or are ideologically or faith motivated to do business in Israel. And so our job at Arise is just to make that connection possible and make it simple and inspire people to get connected, you know, and many of the business people we reach out to are happen to be Christians in the nations that, because they believe in the Bible, believe that there's a, you know, biblical significance to the existence of the state of Israel. They have kind of an added motivation to do business with us, and we love, not everybody that comes to our summit belongs to a certain faith community, but many of them do. And you know, our physical summit, our last physical summit in Israel in 2019, pre-COVID, you know, we had 550 business people from around 50 different nations around. Created hundreds of face-to-face, you know, matchmaking meetings, and tens of millions of dollars transactions came out of that. You participated in our summit last year, and if you liked it last year, you're going to love it even more this year because we've improved our systems right across the board, and I can explain a little more about that if you want me to.
That's brilliant, Kalev. Thank you so much. Yeah, it is a crucial time, and I think in many ways, if we if we can judge a tree by its fruit, and we look at some of the fruit coming out of Israel, drip irrigation, multiple
Right.
technologies that come from very humble beginnings, many Israeli entrepreneurs see that there's a need to improve a certain process, use efficiencies, and they go about and they have the tenacity and perseverance to push through all of those challenges that will come from, I suppose, a smaller nation that Israel is, but proportionally so much has come out from the land. It's really quite mind blowing, and
We
this is, I
like to
think,
say at Arise that we, do well by doing good, which means that, if we as business people can tackle some of the greatest crises facing humanity in a commercially viable way, then it's a win-win-win, right? Because you're creating commerce, you're creating economic growth, you're creating jobs, and at the same time, you're helping people around the world, whether it's agriculture in arid climates, like you mentioned, medical innovations, and protection from COVID-19, fighting pandemics, all these things. Israel is really standing at the cutting edge of innovation in all these areas today, and it's exciting.
absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, it's good to hear that directly from yourself, a businessman, a lawyer, and you've done so much to advocate Israel as a nation and brought about massive connections from people all around the world. I understand, not just in Europe, but internationally, that really want to get in and get active and support Israel and be blessed in return. Tell us a little bit about Arise 2021.
Yeah, I'm happy to say that this year, we're first of all, we're simplifying all the registration systems, making it much more streamlined. Again, if you enjoyed last year, you like this year even better. You just go in, pop in your email, and your first name and last name. You can register right away. I can talk, again about how to register. So that process is very easy. And then basically, our summit is simple. It's a simple. It basically does two things. It presents, updated, cutting edge information regarding current events centered around economic issues, business issues, and business in Israel. The focus of this one is going to be, a year after the Abraham Accords. Where are we? How is our economy and, business communities benefit from that? What are some of the special investments to look out for? And also, and then the other part. So part of it is just the fantastic content, like you said. We have great interviewees this year, like we did last year, and panelists. And then the other part is the business networking. So we have a networking corner, and you can go in and see a list of all the other names of everyone else who's online and participating in the summit. You can invite them. Actually, from the minute you register, you can already start inviting them to chats and chatting with them before the summit is aired on November 30th. You can go in and see the other people who have signed up. On the day of the summit, you'll be able to invite them to a chat or a live video talk and discuss business opportunities. So so we're very, very excited about the summit this year. We know it's going to be fantastic.
Wonderful. Sounds like a lot of great work has gone into preparation for this, and people can get involved even prior to the event starting on Tuesday the 30th. Excellent. Networking with the right people, with people that are already active or new to investing and supporting or doing trade with Israel. Excellent content. Some real good speakers there coming up. I noticed. It sounds like it's going to be a real blast. Tell me.
Let me say about the content, if I could, for a second.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is zero in. So we're starting at a very kind of broad overview, let's say, geo overview. We have fantastic political analysts such as Joel Rosenberg, very well-known author. He just published a nonfiction book called Enemies and Allies after going in and personally meeting and interviewing the presidents, crown princes, prime ministers and leaders throughout the Arabian Peninsula and Israel, and then Egypt and Jordan. And he's gonna talk a little bit about some of his findings and also projections moving forward, what we can look forward to in the next 4 to 5 years. We have people like Ms. Iflo Hassan Nahum, who's the deputy mayor of Jerusalem and responsible for all of the tourism and economic connections, also giving a broad kind of overview. She's helped put together a new platform that stretches across the Middle East for empowering business women, which is very exciting. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Then we're going to move over to a panel that zeroes in a little bit more at a look at commerce, investment. We have several members from the Israel United Arab Emirates Business Council.
Wow.
Abdallah Bakr, who's the president of that, will be speaking. We also have the Dr. Salah Bin Ali, who is the Our Crowd representative for the Arab Emirates, which, Our Crowd is just a fantastic investment platform, which
Yeah.
is democratizing basically venture capital down the bar to a very affordable level. So giving access to investment in cutting edge Israeli technology. He's going to talk about how he's rolling out Our Crowd in the Gulf region, which is exciting. And then we're going to talk about some real practical tools about investing. So what can I do to get to invest in Israel? And I know you, John, encourage people to invest in a lot of. We've talked in the past about real estate. We've talked in the past about venture capital, the high tech scene. This year, we're bringing in experts in the area of investing in Israeli companies in stock markets. So basically, traded Israeli stocks and bonds, which is kind of like the easiest. Anybody in the world today, if they want to diversify their investments by investing in Israeli companies through the stock market. And it's just a fantastic thing to do today because the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange is just outperforming everybody around the world. And as you invest in the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange, you're also investing in shekels. And the shekel has been strengthening significantly over the last several years. It's now considered by most of the major banks in the world as either the top one or two strongest currencies in the world. If you were to buy shekels a year ago, John, you would have made 15 to 20% on your investment just by holding shekels.
Wow.
Strengthened against the pound. So,
Yeah.
so many good reasons to get, and we're just going to give very practical tools about what that looks like, how you can open up an investment file, how you can invest in Israeli stocks to really empower people at a very, very practical level about how to get engaged.
Wow, that's a lot going on. All great stuff. Thank you so much for explaining that. Tell us a little bit about the way that we, as delegates, as Israel enthusiasts, active businessmen and women, how do we get behind? How do we go ahead? Because obviously you've got there's different sort of opportunities to book on. You delegate ticket, there's other
Yeah.
structure. Tell us a little bit about that, please, Kalev.
Right. So if you just go to our website, our URL is ariseforisrael.com in one word, ariseforisrael.com. We have a summit tab, digital. So you go to the summit tab, you'll see our digital 2021 summit. Register now. It's a very simple, streamlined process. Again, it's a $25 ticket to participate in the summit, and so anybody can join that. It's very easy. We do charge something because we just believe that once you put a little bit of skin in the game, you take whatever you're doing it's more seriously. And we want people who are actually engaged, who are coming to, they really care about these issues and really want to connect and everything. So that's a ticket price. And then there are also opportunities. So we're going to have hundreds of business people from around the world who share your faith and values, who love Israel, who want to do business in Israel, want to connect with one another. So we have a few possibilities that businesses and organizations can actually become sponsors. So we have a bronze, silver, and a gold sponsorship, and those different levels will give more prominence to your logo and your branding material on the Summit platform. At all of those levels, by the way, you'll be able to upload a promotional video, and share your content with all the other participants. I think it's a good opportunity to get your products out there before, people from, again, around 50 different countries around the world are going to be participating who share your faith and values. And so you can just do the simple participant, or if you want to be a sponsor, we welcome you. And again, all those things are very easy. You can find them through our website. It's a very simple process.
That's clear cut for me. I'll be sharing the link in the description to this video for you guys to book on. Obviously, it's on Tuesday the 30th, but the sooner you book on, the more time you're giving yourself to network, to pre-network, to get your details registered so people can see you. You're more visible to other participants, delegates, and other businesses. This sounds like a really great event. I'm excited. I bet you guys are too, watching. Thank you so much, Kalev, for your time today. It's been a real blessing, and I very much look forward to seeing you at the event, unless I've missed anything out right now.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to give a shout out to the Israel Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Yes.
That is significantly supporting this event. You know, I think they recognize what we're doing in Arise is very important in the diplomatic fabric of the nation of Israel, creating mutually beneficial, positive relations between business people in Israel and business people around the world. And so they're contributing to this, and I want to send a thanks out to them, and we're very honored to have them as a part of the production of the summit this year.
Brilliant, absolutely. Thank you so much for that as well. That's even more credibility and even more significance to the event this year. That's profound. Caleb, thank you so much for your time. I look forward to seeing you at the event. Guys, make sure you book your description, and I look forward to seeing you online. Bless you.
Thank you, John. Bless you. Bye-bye.